Hey everyone, so we are back for the last and final great video that we're going to be touching on today. It's actually the Georgia Volunteer Infantry history. So I'm going to dive into a couple of regiments. I couldn't do them all because there's a long list of regiments that came out of Georgia that we had to kind of narrow it down. But the ones that I did pick out are the ones that battled, and that was in a couple of big battles. A couple of them was actually at the Battle of Gettysburg. But before we dive into that, make sure you guys hit that like button and you subscribe to my channel. And also, if you guys are ever on Facebook, go on that fan page as well. I got posted. It's Adventures with Chris. Check that out as well. I post daily there as well as on YouTube. So I'm trying to grow this channel as much as I can and give you guys as much content, the most content as I can as well. Now the first regiment that we're going to talk about is the 5th Georgia Volunteer Infantry, which was organized on May 11th, 1861, and it surrendered on April 26, 1865. They formed from 10 companies in 1861. To be posted in Florida under General Bragg, where they received their training. Their first combat assignment was on Santa Rosa Island off the coast of Florida. The assault on the island resulted in a victory and early experience for the regiment. Following this, the regiment was posted in early 1862 to Knoxville, Tennessee and Corinth, Mississippi. They were ordered to move on Shiloh in April, but arrived too late to participate in the battle. The regiment fought in and around Corinth until the end of May, when they were ordered to participate in the invasion of Kentucky. Following the failure, they were reassigned to the battle in Murfreesboro. This proved devastating to the 5th Georgia, where they received 32% casualties, along with their colonel and the regiment battle flag. Following this defeat, the regiment pulled back to Shelbyville, Tennessee, where it remained until they went into participation in the Tullahoma campaign. Come September 1863, the regiment was moved back to native Georgia. They suffered further casualties, 55%, at the Battle of Chickamauga, and they participated in the siege of Chattanooga on Missionary Ridge, until they were driven from their position and fell back with the rest of the Army of Tennessee. The regiment suffered through a series of battles in the retreat through Georgia in early 1864 and served as prison guards until being moved to the South Carolina coast late that year. They fought to protect Charleston-Savannah Railroad, losing the battle flag a second time as they were forced to retreat. The 5th continued in retreat with the rest of the Confederate Army through North Carolina. They participated in the Battle of Bentonville in March, launching an assault against the Federal 20th Corps, where they were encountered devastating fire and was forced to fall back. The Army of Tennessee surrendered on April 26, 1865, where a few members of the regiment were present to witness the surrender at Benton Homestead. The 15th Georgia Infantry Regiment was an infantry regiment in the Confederate States of America, or Army. During the American Civil War, it participated in most of the key battles of Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. The 5th Georgia was organized in the spring of 1861 in Athens, Georgia. It contained troops from 8 counties in northwestern Georgia: Hancock, Stevenson, Elbert, Lamar, Warren, Wilkes, Tafaro, Oglethorpe counties. It was initially attached to General Robert Toombs' brigade and David Jones' division of the Army of Northern Virginia. Under Toombs, the 15th Georgia fought in the 7 days battle, the Battle of Thoroughfare Gap, the Second Battle of Manassas, and the Battle of Antietam. At this point, the brigade was under the command of Colonel late General Henry Betting. The 5th 15th Georgia served with the Army of Northern Virginia for the remainder of the war, except when it detached with General Longstreet during the Tidewater Campaign, the Battle of Chickamauga, and the Knoxville Campaign of 1863. The 15th Georgia was present at the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse and the subsequent surrender. 20 officers and 266 men of the 15th Georgia Infantry were present at the surrender. The 17th Georgia Infantry was an infantry regiment in the Confederate States Army during the American Civil War. The 17th Georgia was sent to Northern Virginia via railroad through Tennessee and Lynchburg. It was brigade with the 1st, 2nd, 15th, and 20th Georgia regiments. The 1st Georgia transferred out in October 1861 when the army was being reconstructed. The 17th Georgia eventually became part of Toombs Brigade, D.R. Jones Division, Army of the Potomac. It saw its first combat in May 1862 on the Peninsula, serving in the wing of Major General John B. Magruder as he opposed the Federal Army's advance under Major General George B. McClellan. After periods of intense rain and small insignificant actions, the 17th fell back towards Richmond and did not participate in the counterattack led by Joseph E. Johnston at the Battle of Seven Pines. After this battle, General Robert E. Lee took command of the army and renamed it the Army of Northern Virginia. However, this regiment did not last long. On June 27, 1862, the 17th Georgia, along with the rest of Toombs Brigade, engaged Federal forces at the Battle of Garrett's Farm. The 17th secured the left flank of the brigade, while the 2nd and 15th heavily engaged the enemy and lost many killed and wounded. The following day, after a grueling 20-mile march in the hot sun, the regiment finally stopped to rest. On July 1st, the 17th participated in the final day of the seven days campaign, fighting at the Battle of Marvin Hill. The brigade lost almost 300 men killed, wounded during the seven days, including two regimental commanders and two adjutants. The 17th moved south out of Maryland with the army and took up positions on the south end of Rappahannock River in Virginia. It was at this point that Colonel Benning was given command of the brigade, and Colonel Wesley Hodges assumed command of the regiment. During the Battle of Fredericksburg, the brigade was not heavily engaged and suffered only 2 wounded and 2 killed. The 24th Georgia Infantry Regiment was an infantry regiment in the Confederate States Army during the American Civil War. The regiment was part of Thomas Cobb's brigade at the Battle of Fredericksburg. The 24th Infantry Regiment fought in the difficult campaigns of the Army of Northern Virginia from the 7 days battle to Gettysburg, then moved to Georgia with Longstreet. The 24th was not engaged at Chickamauga, but did see action in Knoxville campaign. The regiment returned to Virginia and participated in the conflicts at the Wilderness, Spotsylvania, and Cold Harbor. Was active in the Shenandoah Valley and ended the war at Appomattox. Soon after being mustered into Confederate service, the regiment was moved to Lynchburg, Virginia. Within the week of arriving there, however, it was ordered to Goldsboro, North Carolina. There it joined the Department of North Carolina. The unit remained there until early in 1862. Returning to Virginia, the unit was placed in the Army of Northern Virginia. It served in that army until the summer of 1863. At that time, it was moved to Georgia, where it served in the Army of Tennessee. Its next saw service in the Department of East Tennessee in the spring of 1864. The regiment returned to the Army of Northern Virginia. remaining in that army until midsummer 1864. It then moved to Shenandoah Valley, where it served in the Army of the Valley District. Finally, in December 1864, the unit returned to the Army of Northern Virginia, serving in the Army for the remainder of the war. In April 1862, this regiment totaled 660 effectives, lost 43% of the 292 engaged at Crampton's Gap, and had 4 killed, 39 wounded, and 2 missing at Sharpsburg. It sustained 36 casualties at Fredericksburg, reported 14 killed and 73 wounded at Chancellorsville, and of the 303 at Gettysburg, 17% were disabled. Many were captured at South Creek. Only 4 officers and 56 men surrendered on April 9th, 1865. So that is a little bit more on the history of the Georgia regiments that was involved during the Civil War. As you can see, a lot of these regiments was moving back and forth from Georgia to Tennessee, even into Virginia, where they battled multiple times, and was even assigned to different regiments or different armies, like the Army of Tennessee or the Army in Northern Virginia. So they were just kind of bounced around from one place to another. As you can see, there wasn't that many men left of the 24th when it came to the final day of the surrendering of the Confederates. I think it said that it only had 4 officers and only 56 men were present. So you could tell that they had a high casualty rate on all these regiments during the Civil War. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoy these videos that I'm posting to you guys. I hope that you guys enjoy these little regiment sessions, as well as the new thing of me adding in the generals and talking about them. If you guys have a general in particular that you guys would like for me to dive into, make sure you guys drop it in the comment section below, and I'll take a look at it, and then I'll bring you guys that video as well. So if there's any regiment, general, or battlefield that you would like me to discuss or take a visit to, drop it in the comment section below. But with that being said, love you guys and talk to you guys again soon.